Hey guys, Steph Davis here from flipthiswholesaler.net, where I teach you to make more money, flip more houses, and kick more ass. I am here on a Tuesday afternoon with a brand new Q&A Tuesday video for you guys. My question this week comes from Mark, and Mark writes, "Hi Steph, I got my first call from a bandit sign last night and have yet to return the call. I've never spoken to a seller before and I am really nervous. What should I say when I call back? Any advice would be appreciated. Thank you." All right, so Mark, first of all, congratulations on getting out there and putting those signs out. That is a big step in the right direction. I know that it can be nerve-wracking when those first seller calls start coming in. I remember when I was just getting started and my phone started ringing with sellers calling on my marketing, and I was absolutely terrified to speak with them. I can tell you, however, that that fear does subside. It gets easier and easier the more sellers that you talk to, and eventually it will be no big deal at all. So you just kind of have to hang in there and muscle your way through those first couple of calls, but it does get easier. So as far as what to say to the seller when you call back, my suggestion, if you're just getting started, is to use that initial phone call to just gather information from the seller. Just let them know that you're going to collect some information about the property, and then you'll need a little bit of time to do your due diligence, do your homework, and then you'll get back to them with an offer. Doing this alleviates some of the pressure off of you, so you don't have to feel like you need to come up with an offer right there on the spot on that first call. Now, that's not to say if you feel comfortable making an offer right then and there, if you've done your market research, you have some buyers lined up, you know what they're willing to pay for properties in this area, by all means go ahead and make an offer on the first call. But most beginners, they're kind of a little nervous still. They're not real sure of their numbers. So if you just collect the information on the first call, that gives you time to if you have a mentor you're working with, you can give them a call, or talk to some other wholesalers in the area, talk to some buyers in the area, and get a better idea of where your numbers should be on this particular property. So as far as information to get from the seller, this is just some basic information that you're going to want to get when you speak to them. First of all, obviously the address of the property, how many bedrooms and bathrooms, and the square footage. Next, the condition of the property. Are there any repairs that are needed? Now, of course, this is stuff that you're going to verify on your own. You never want to just take someone's word for it. But of course, you want to ask them the condition of the property, what repairs are necessary. Next, why are you selling and how quickly do you need to sell? This is a very important question because you can learn a lot about the seller's motivation or their lack of motivation by asking this. Sometimes a seller will say, I don't even really need to sell. I'm just kind of, fishing just to see what I could get. That typically is going to be someone who is not that motivated to sell at a discount. On the other hand, if you get someone who says, well, I lost my job 3 months ago, I'm about to go behind on my mortgage payment, and I need to get this thing sold yesterday. That is a situation where there's a good chance that the seller might be willing to sell at a discount just to get this property off their hands and keep them out of financial trouble. So why are you selling and how quickly do you need to sell? Number 4, what are they asking for the property? I know this probably seems like it might be obvious, but I've seen a lot of people recently who they'll talk to the seller and they never ask what the seller wants, what price they want to get for the property. They'll go out, spend a day or two doing research, and then when they go back to make an offer, the seller says, you're crazy. I want full retail price or close to it. So you want to get the asking price just so you know up front if you're even in the same range. Sometimes the seller will say, well, just make me an offer. When the seller says that to me, when they say just make me an offer, I usually say something like, look, I buy and sell houses. This is what I do for a living. I do buy them at a discount. If you could just kind of give me a ballpark of what you're looking for, so I know if we're even in the same range, I don't want to waste your time. If we're too far apart, I don't want to waste your time. So I say something like that. It kind of makes it sound like I'm doing them a favor by having them tell me the asking price, and a lot of times they do. If they don't, no big deal. Go do the market research, make the offer, and they will let you know if it works or not. So next, I ask if it is vacant or if they are living in it or if it is tenant occupied. If it is vacant, I usually ask how long it's been vacant. That can also be an indication of motivation. Sometimes it's if the house has been sitting there with no one in it for a while, it gives a little bit more motivation to the seller. Not always, but sometimes. And then if it is rented, I want to get a little bit of information about the renter, how long they've been in there, when their lease is up, and what they are paying per month in rents. Next, ask if their payments are current. If they are, that's great. If not, how far are they behind? And a rough estimate of what would be needed to catch their payments up. And then towards the end, I usually ask them if they have an idea of a ballpark of what is owed on the property. Now, sometimes the seller will say, that's none of your business, or why do you need to know that? If they say, why do you need to know that? Again, I say, it just makes saves me a step. I can look it up in the public records anyway, but, this just lets me know if there's even, I don't want to waste your time. If there's not enough room in there, if there's not enough equity in there, there's no need for me to waste your time. So a lot of times I'll just give it to you, especially if you, I usually save this question until towards the end. So if I've built up a decent rapport with them, a lot of times they just give it to me without even questioning it. If they don't want to give it to you, again, that's not a huge deal. You can either look it up on your own or, just go ahead and, do your due diligence, make the offer, and, if they owe too much on it, then they're going to let you know when you make the offer. So, and then finally, I usually ask at the end if there's anything else that I need to know. Who knows, there might be you just never know. I've heard all kinds of stories from sellers, so I just usually wrap it up with, is there anything else anything else important that I should know about the property? And then just say, okay, well, thank you for the information. I'm going to go do some homework, do some due diligence on this, and I'll get back to you with an offer. Now, you do want to try and get back to them as quickly as you can with an offer. If you wait a week or 2 weeks, they're probably going to have already gone down the list of We Buy Houses ads in the paper or in the yellow pages or whatever. So you want to get back to them as quickly as you can, but doing it this way does, it gives you, like I said, it takes some pressure off of you so you don't feel like you have to come up with an offer right then and there. So anyway, I hope that helps. If anyone has any additional input that they would like to give, you can feel free to leave a comment below this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, I do have comments disabled, so if you head over to my blog, it's flipthiswholesaler.net, you can leave a comment in the comment section right below this video. That is all for today, guys. I will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.